Hello there, and welcome to another episode. I'm Sean, and it's about time that I get back to this, sharing my stories. And today I want to jump in instead of chronologically sharing my travels, because a good story, or always telling a story, begins right smack in the middle, or work its way backwards is the way I write. So here goes. I've been trying to find ways to share my experiences the last 6 months after traveling for about 6 months. So I haven't really posted in a year. So I wanted to get back to that. And last night really propelled this happening and motivated me to talk about it and share, because interestingly enough, puzzling enough, I am somewhat blown away. At the same time, it's just the way my life goes. So I've learned to accept that this is the way it happens, and things come to me in a very interesting way. My friend texted me and said, "I'm in New York. Where are you these days?" And I mentioned I'm kind of recovering still. Currently, I've been staying with my mom because in recovery, and that's what I want to talk about. A few months ago, while traveling, I was in Serbia. I woke up on the floor in the middle of the night, around 3 a.m., after 3, and just confused because there I was laying in my Airbnb, surrounded with blood, my own blood, and a cut in the head. Was having memory issues and just puzzled and confused about what had happened. I did manage to make it to urgent care, eventually to emergency in Belgrade, Serbia. They did take a scan and said I was fine. But then a month later, when I was already back in New York, an MRI revealed there was bleeding in the brain. So freaked out as I was, spent 15 hours in emergency of them tracking that bleeding until it had decreased. Later on, I would follow up again, like a month later, and then, or I think it was 2 months later, and it was all gone, like it had never happened. But I'm left with dizziness. Anyway, going back to my text, he was just blown away because he experienced the exact same thing a year ago. And I was blown away. He's sharing his story, and it's my story that he's sharing just a year after the fact that he fell, hit his head, hemorrhaging, and he's been experiencing the same things I've been. His is a little more extreme because he's lost a sense of smell and some of his taste. I have no words what I'm feeling right now, that someone else has had the same exact experience, incident that I've had, the blackout, the brain bleeding, the tiredness, the long recovery, because it's been a year for him. The weirder part of that is, randomly, he's reached out to me. Here he is telling me his story. That's actually my story. I'm trying to put it together because he's also a traveler. I'm trying to make sense of what could it have been that got us there. And our doctors say the same thing. They can't tell you exactly or why it's happened. So for me, it's just guessing a list of things because they've ran so many tests. And yes, I'm doing better. I'm still dealing with the dizziness 6 months later. And they said it can go on for a year and a half. But the why, like the one thing that they have in common between my sleep doctor, my primary care, and neurologist and cardiologist. Yes, I've seen a lot of doctors in the last 6 months. And the one thing that all the doctors have said, the common factor, is the fact that I travel. I'm connecting the fact that my friend that this has happened to and myself are travelers. We spend a lot of time in the air. I'm kind of trying to make a connection to see if anyone out there in the world has had this experience where it's unexplainable why we've had this blackout and no memory of how it's happened. And maybe just someone at the sound of my voice, of the reach of this post, has a story, and maybe we can figure this out, because I'm confused. I've questions. I've had nightmares of just laying at night and trying to connect the dots and make sense of me just being in my bed and then going to sleep after a flight, get into a new city, you wake up hours later and you're in your own blood and you have no memory of how that's happened. Has anyone else experienced something like that? And is that person a traveler? Please do reach out and share your story. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you. And let's continue this conversation. I'd like to do a part 2 of this and see where it goes. God bless.